Good morning, Davenport. Happy Thursday. I want to take today and talk about some more things we can do to keep ourselves safe and look out for each other during this pandemic. I want to talk about some things individually. Sometimes during emergencies, people take advantage of other folks. So I want to make sure you guys in all of Davenport and the Quad Cities stay safe. In particular, stay safe at home as we ask all of you to stay at home more and social distance. We need to protect ourselves by simply, as we do every day, but really pay attention now. Let's make sure we keep our doors locked. Let's look out for each other. Don't open your door to anybody you don't recognize. Watch out for people who are soliciting or coming to your home. If you don't recognize them, please don't open the door. Keep it locked. Make sure you're looking out for each other and taking care of yourself, and security is a big part of that. The big theme for today is we need to limit our exposure to this virus, and that means we need to limit as best as we can our exposure to other people. I know that's difficult because as humans, we want, and I want to interact with folks. You can still do that. We just have to make sure we practice the CDC guidelines and limit our exposure to folks. So as we talk about security and being careful, why are we doing this? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you, and so is many of our other leaders at state and national level and our healthcare and public health professionals, for the greater good, to take care of this virus and get it to stop and to get it to not affect our community anymore. And I can't say it enough. Limit your exposure. So what can we do? Try and do something different each day. What are some examples? I know people have talked about puzzles and coloring and things like that. But I'm talking about more call your relatives and friends. Skype them, Zoom with them. We did that in my family. We had a Skype session. My son, who's in the military, is not close to us. So he just got back from a deployment and we Skyped him and talked to him. So engage with your family and friends. Just do it with technology if you can. Talk to your neighbor, engage with them, but do it from across the street or keeping a reasonable distance of at least 6 feet. Talk with them, just don't get close. Maybe hold a neighborhood meeting. I know a lot of people have done this previously. Now we just need to do it using technology, using Skype or Zoom. Maybe have a weekly or bi-weekly neighborhood meeting, and then if we add that with a family meeting, we can keep engaged with each other. I talked about the greater good. So everyone understands that our life events and what's going on is changing. We all have personal family challenges and events that we think are important and we want to go to. But ladies and gentlemen, during this time of this pandemic, we need to practice and lead by example in social distancing. We might have to put off some family events, some travel, some personal interaction by going and traveling places. Again, Skype, Zoom, video conference with each other, but we have to remember that the greater good and protecting ourselves and stopping this virus is what's important. So I'm simply asking for all of us, as best as we can, to think of the greater good of our community. We are in a serious public health emergency. And so this requires basically all of us to put aside sometimes some of our personal wishes. We have family, I have family that are not here. And they have events like weddings. We've had events in our family where people have passed, and we just have to put off going in large groups to travel to where they are. And that is a significant event. That is a significant emotional event for my family, your family, everyone. But because of what's going on, I'm asking you to think about not traveling. Think about the greater good. We need to all work together as best as we can to help our communities and our loved ones get through this. And we will get through this. We just need to have that extra pause right now in engaging personally with our family and friends. Limiting our exposure to other people is what will help stop this virus. So hold off on travel, hold off on personal engagements as best as you can. I'm having to do that with my family. My wife and I are, our kids are. So we're Skyping and we're doing things like that. But we understand what's going on. And if we do this, if we pause on our travel and our engagement for a little while, weeks, maybe months, we can beat this thing and we can beat it together. And it takes some sacrifice, and I understand everybody's sacrificing. But we have to put some emphasis on enhancing our distance and enhancing our limit to exposure with other folks. So some possible examples of what we can do. Go into the grocery store. One person go, maybe once a week. Don't bring the whole family or kids with you. Go to the drive-thru, order out, but one person pick up the stuff for everybody. Again, I talked about calling your relative and friends, Skype and Zoom them. Talk to your neighbor from across the street. Hold a neighborhood Skype session. And then some points I remember from my time in the military and other times when different organizations are separated from folks. So things and some tips that worked well and we talk about. I'm going to just give you a few and you can do with what you want. But try and follow a schedule. I think maintaining a plan will help you and your family adjust to different life and home and maybe even work environments. Try and keep that schedule. We know it's different, but it can help with what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to pace ourselves, and we need to take time for fun activities. Don't forget to include in your schedule rest. Sometimes as we're thinking about stuff, what do I do? How do I do this? We forget about proper sleep. Now, we do have some more time maybe, but getting good rest is important. As the weather turns and we think it's going to get a little better here, hopefully, go outside. That's important. The smell, the interaction with nature is important. So go on walks. My wife and I try and take our dog for a walk. We can engage, but just from a distance again. Something that I think could be helpful, and I've talked to some folks about this, maybe it's time, if we haven't done so, or we get back to playing an instrument or learning an instrument. Maybe start a craft, something we've wanted to do, but we just haven't had time. And now because of our enhanced social distancing environment, maybe this is the time where we can do that. Maybe keep a journal and write down what's going on. I'm trying to do that every day, trying to keep notes of what goes on with this pandemic and how the city is working to help relieve and mitigate this virus. So I'm keeping a journal myself. I talked about connecting, video conferencing with friends and family. And ladies and gentlemen, we need to listen to our public health experts. Sometimes, especially in this challenging moment, like the one we're in now, we focus on social media. Social media can be a good thing. It keeps us connected. But sometimes the sources of information are not providing us good and truthful information. So make sure we seek out reliable sources of facts. Please use the Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, World Health Organization, National Institutes of Health, our local public health officials as the people we rely on and use for information. We're all connected. We can solve our problems together, and we'll be better off in the long run, but we have to do some of these things now to stop this pandemic. One of the side effects maybe of this pandemic, and this is a terrible tragedy for so many people, so many of our businesses, so many of our families, but maybe it's helping us realize some compassion or more compassion for other people. I've watched people read to kids. I've watched people come up with their ideas on how they can help elderly folks and visit, run errands, volunteer, whether it's providing meals to our school children in the school district. People are stepping up and helping. Humans want to engage. We want to engage with each other. And we'll prevail by working together. And we've done this before. There have been a lot of tough challenges in our history, and we've overcome them. This is another one. This is serious, and it's a public health emergency, and we need to take it serious. But we will overcome this. So please wash your hands, keep your distance, be safe. As best as you can, have a good weekend. Try and do something different, and please be safe and look out for each other. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening to me. And if you have any comments or concerns or ideas that I can share when I do these little talks with Davenport and our community, please send me emails. Please send me text messages, and I'm happy to share. But we're all in this together. I'm with you. Davenport is with you. Our staff is with you, and we'll get through this together. But we do need to take this seriously, and we do need to look out for the common good and put our personal needs maybe on pause for a little bit, as I'm doing in my family and I'm asking you to do, so that we can get through this and get back to some sort of normal in the future. I don't know when that is. I hope it's shorter than longer, but right now we need to have our enhanced social distancing and work all together to stop this pandemic. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.